Hi, thanks so much for tuning in today for our gentle yoga practice. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. We'll do a YogaLates, kind of like a blend between yoga and Pilates. So a lot of the things that we do are a little more calisthenic-like we're doing a repetitive exercise, but I'm going to kind of sprinkle some yoga things in there as well. We'll do a lot of focus on the core today. So I'd like you to start seated. Just come up, take a comfortable cross-leg sit. Of course, feel free to add a blanket or anything underneath you to elevate the spine a little bit more, if that's more comfortable for you to sit. And for our practice, I haven't quite decided if we're going to use it today, but have a belt handy for doing a little bit of stretching toward the end of our practice. If you don't have a yoga belt, a bathrobe tie, a necktie, a scarf, all of those things work just fine as well. All right. So let's begin with just a little bit of settling in and breathing, and then I'll talk a little bit about the Pilates work and the core, and then we'll get started. But as you sit up tall, let your hands rest on your thighs or in your lap, and just allow your eyes to softly close if that's comfortable. If not, just turn your gaze down and soften. Just using this as an opportunity to tune in. So as the eyes close, notice what you notice. And is it sound to orient yourself? Maybe physical sensation? Maybe it's the touch of your body on the surface you're sitting on. Maybe a clothing or temperature of the air against the skin. And what else is there? Any physical sensation in the body? Or maybe you check in with your emotions and thoughts. Not judging anything you discover, we're just finding our starting point. And now allow your awareness to shift to your breath. Just watching the breath right now do its breath thing. Not controlling the breath, right? Just letting it do its thing just as it was before you started watching it. And we'll add just a little bit of control in the breath. So wherever you are in your breath cycle, let's all exhale completely. And we'll inhale together for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Again, in 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5. Then take 3 or 4 more on your own, just like that. All of your awareness is on the breath. Good. One more full breath here. And then return to normal breathing. It's using breath awareness as a tool to help us stay present during our practice today. And if you wish, you can also set an intention. Maybe you set a new intention for the new year, and we're working on cultivating that quality. Or maybe something new speaks to you today. And let your eyes blink open. Welcome. So from our cross-leg position, so I want to talk just a little bit about the core and how we're going to use it a little bit differently, or not differently, maybe with a little more focus during our practice today. So the core muscle that we'll primarily be focusing on a lot is the TA, or the transverse abdominis. It's the deepest of our abdominal muscles, and it's kind of like this wraparound muscle. It goes all the way around the torso, and its job is to stabilize the lower part of the spine, the lumbar spine. And it's kind of like, you could think of the TA like an internal girdle, right? Like Spanx that you wear on the inside of the body. It just helps kind of hold everything in. So what that feels like is, just go ahead and take your hand, one hand to your low belly, and do like a little fake cough. So as you do that cough, you can feel how the whole torso just kind of tones up. That's the TA. So that's one way to access it. Go ahead and place your hands down beside you and press the hands into the ground so the spine lifts up. You might even feel how your sit bones get a little bit lighter, right? Now, as that happens, even without willing it to happen, the TA engaged as well. The navel kind of draws back to the spine and up to the ribs, okay? All right, we're going to build on that in just a second. Right now, turn your focus to, so we've got the navel and the pubic bone about midway between. We're going to focus on drawing that back towards your spine and then up towards your ribs, kind of like you're tightening the drawstring on a pair of sweatpants and then zipping up a pair of jeans. So it's a tighten and zip up. Now, we're not doing this with 100% of our power, maybe like 50, right? Just to keep things nice and toned and supported. All right, so come back here to hands next to you. So navel draws back to the spine, up to the ribs. Press the hands down, feel the seat get a little bit lighter, the spine lengthen up. Now, can you imagine dropping the tailbone down? But we're keeping this lift going from the pelvic floor. So another way to think about this is when you're urinating and you're mid-flow and we need to stop, right? It's this whoop, kind of like you're lifting up from the pelvic floor. Same thing is happening. Navel draws back and up. We're going to repeat this a lot today, all right, from a lot of different positions that we're going to put our body. But it's this drawing back and up sensation to provide the stabilization in the core. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and lie down on your backs. And as you lie down, first thing we'll do is stretch the legs out and flex your feet. So stretch the legs out, flex your feet. So the legs are parallel, toes are pointing up toward the ceiling. Take your hands now and just find the front of your hips, the hip points, little bony protrusions, right, that are right here at the front of the hip, right? Keeping the hands resting there and keeping the legs, the feet flexed. Roll your legs, your thigh bones, so your toes point out, and then roll them back up. And do that a couple of times. And you'll notice that as the toes go out, the hips almost open a little bit. And then as they come back up, those hip points start to point back up toward the ceiling, right? Just kind of just showing you how everything is connected here. All right. So when the front of the hips open, the back of the hips, the back of the pelvis kind of gets a little bit smaller. And we want to keep that nice and broad today to help support the lumbar spine as well. So toes point up. Now, hands still stay on those hips, firm into the legs as if you're going to lift them off the ground, but we're not really going to lift them. So you firm them and lift, but like you're going to lift, but they're still resting on the ground, just very slightly. And you'll feel all of that engagement in the low belly without even really having to think about it, right? The navel is drawing back to the spine and up to the ribs, right? We're going to come back to this quite a few times as well. Just toning the abdominals while we're lying down here on the ground. All right, let's go ahead and release all of that. Good. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. All right, now pick up the feet so that your knees are stacked up over your hips, and then we'll flex the feet. So anytime the feet are off the floor, we don't want to let them just be floppy. That's dead weight, and that puts a lot of pressure on the lumbar spine. So flex the feet. That'll help draw that energy and awareness right into the low belly. Now, turn that awareness there, right? Low belly draws back to the spine and up to the ribs. You're going to tighten the drawstring and zip up the jeans. Great. Now I'm keeping a 90-degree bend in my knees, and I'm going to alternate dropping one leg or the other to the floor. So the first thing I'll do is drop the right heel to the floor. Notice the knee isn't bent, isn't straightening. And then I'm going to lift it back up, right back into position. Now the left one drops down, heel to the floor, and then come back up. So just keep alternating here. Arms are by your sides. The belly is toned. So the thigh is moving away from you, and you'll feel how those abdominals have to work a little bit harder when the leg is dropping down. Good. Let's do 2 more on each leg. 1 and 2. Good. 1 and 2. Right back up to tabletop position. So knees are stacked over the hips. Even just holding right here is forcing you to use your core as well. Now we'll alternate again, but this time we're going to lengthen into the leg. So press into the right heel and then bring it back in, and then press into the left and bring it back in. Now, if you're having any low back funkiness today and taking the leg out causes any discomfort in the low back, then feel free to take that leg more up toward the ceiling. Okay. We'll do 4 more each leg. 4 and 3. Keep that belly toned, navel drawing back and up. Good. 2 more. And 1 more. Great. Hug those knees into the chest. You could rock the hips side to side if you like. Here, give yourself a little low back massage. All right, let's come back to our tabletop position. So press the thighs away so the knees stack over the hips, shins are about parallel to the floor, and the feet are flexed. So we'll go into something called the hundreds. So this is a variation of the hundreds. All right, we're going to keep the knees bent. We're going to keep head and shoulders down on the ground. I like to take the knees and thighs and squeeze them all together here. All right, so squeeze the inner thighs, the knees, the ankles, the big toes. You'll feel how engaging by pressing the legs in draws you right into the core. So keep the navel drawing back to the spine and up to the ribs the whole while we're here. Now, reach your fingertips out past your hips and then allow your arms to float up off the floor. So they're parallel to the floor, but reaching. So shoulders are away from your ears. Now we're going to pump the arms up and down like you're splashing water with the back of your arms. Okay. In addition, we're going to add a Pilates breath. We're going to inhale 5 times quickly through the nose and exhale 5 times quickly through the mouth. So it looks like this. Good. All right. Ready? We're going to do this all together. I'm going to do it 100 times. Really, it's 10 rounds. All right. So it's 100 breaths. All right. So float the arms up, squeeze the knees together, reach the fingertips beyond your toes, engage your abdominals. And we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, X 2, 3, 4, 5. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Three more rounds. And rest, hug those knees in. All right. Release back out to tabletop again. Knees over the hips, shins parallel, feet flexed, arms down by your sides. All right. So next exercise, actually, we're going to take the hands off the sides. Take your hands, stack them one on top of the other, and press the hands both into the right thigh. As you push into the right thigh pushes back. So we're creating tension, and you'll feel that all that awareness right down in the low belly again. Now, at the same time, extend the left leg out. So again, either parallel to the floor for more challenge or up to the ceiling if the low back feels funky. All right. Now we're going to switch sides. The hands are going to press into the left thigh as the right leg extends. And then we're going to switch. and switch. Good, switch. Control the movements, switch. Good. All right, we're going to do 4 more on each side. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Oh, hug those knees into the chest again. Right. Let's lower the feet down to the floor. Now, stretch your left leg long on the floor. Flex the foot so the leg is active. Now take your right leg and extend it up toward the ceiling. So you can start with the hands behind the leg. Let's just warm it up a little bit. As the leg goes up, just rotate the ankle a few times and then point and flex. And now hold it in a flexed position and just find some length and some opening in the back of the leg. Stretch into it. Let's come back to a pointed toe now. Straighten the leg up toward the ceiling as much as you possibly can and firm the muscles in the leg. Now, the left leg, the one down on the ground, the foot's going to be flexed. Remember that little thing that we did earlier where you firm the leg like you're going to lift it, but you don't lift it? Do that here with the left leg. So firm it like you're lifting it, but you're not lifting it off the floor. The right leg is pointing up toward the ceiling. We'll do single leg circles and we'll do 6 each direction. So take the right leg, cross the midline, bring it down, around, and up. And 5. Good. 4. And 3. So the challenge here is not letting the rest of your body roll around on the ground. So be as still as you possibly can. Good. Take the leg the other direction, out, around, and up. And 5. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower the right leg to the floor. And bring your left knee in as the leg goes up, just like we did on side 1. A couple of ankle rolls, point and flex. And we're going to come back to a flexed foot and just stretch up into the leg, get some opening in the back of the thigh. And now let's point the toes on the left foot, flex the toes on the right foot. So the right leg, you're firming the leg as if you're going to lift it, but you're not really lifting it off the floor. That'll help with that low belly engagement. Now we take our single leg circles. So we go across the midline, down, around, and up. Good. 5. So you can make your circle really big or really small. The key is to stay as still as you possibly can, right? So maybe your circle is more upright, about the size of a beach ball. All right, now we got to reverse. Are you ready? And down, around, and up. And 5. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's hug both knees back into the chest. Right. So we're going to kind of imagine ourselves as being a tight little ball. We're tucked into a ball. Now, as you inhale, the legs are both going to go out. So remember, either up or down for more challenge, and the arms are going to reach overhead. As you exhale, circle the arms back and hug the knees back into the chest, tuck back into that ball. You're going to inhale, extend and reach long. Exhale, circle around. Good. 4 more. Inhale to open. Exhale, come back in. And 3, 2. Last one here. And in. Good. Go ahead and roll over to one side or the other. And bring yourself all the way up. In fact, go all the way up and onto your belly. So we're going to flip all the way over. So this first little thing we'll do on our belly is cobra pose, bhujangasana, right? Yoga posture. We'll do it with a little bit different focus today. All right, so just follow along. Extend the legs down, point the toes. Bring your hands to the floor alongside the ribs with the fingertips spread wide, and let your forehead come to the floor. Okay. So in cobra pose, bhujangasana, we need to have a rooted foundation into the legs as well as the abdominals. So we'll start by setting the foundation. Press the tops of the feet down so the legs get really firm. Feel how your kneecaps are kind of lifting, right? Now, tighten those abdominals, just like we did when we were lying on our back. The navel is going to drop up to the spine and then to the ribs. Okay. Keep all of that going. Now, squeeze your elbows together and then lift your elbows up toward the ceiling so the hands will float up. All right, we're just tuning in to upper back engagement. Legs really active, so keep pressing the tops of the feet down. Keep engaging the abdominals, and then elbows are squeezing together, like you're squeezing the shoulder blades together and lifting them up. Good. Let the elbows, the hands come all the way down. So you can rest, wriggle around on your belly a bit. And we'll reset and we'll do that again. This time we're going to add lifting the head and looking forward. All right. Set your foundation first. So tops of the feet pressed down, legs are firming, low belly is lifting. Squeeze the elbows toward one another first. Lift the elbows up. Hands will float up, but now place the hands back down, but try not to put all the weight back in them. So we're still lifting with the upper back. Now, roll the shoulders back, lift your gaze and look forward. So I'm just gazing out just off the front of my mat. I'm still squeezing elbows in and up, even though the hands are placed down. I can really feel this in all the muscles up and down the back. Good, relax all the way down. Even turn your head to one side if you wish. Shimmy a little, shake. We'll do one more round, okay? All right, reset the legs. Tops of the feet press down, firm into the legs, lift the low belly. Elbows squeeze in and lift them, but can you do it this time without lifting the hands off the ground? So we're finding that upper back engagement. Now look forward, lengthen. Good. Breathe. And then while you're here, while we're holding, recheck. Right? Tops of the feet are still heavy. Don't forget about that. Navel is still lifting. We're still squeezing the space together between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, release all the way down. And let's walk your elbows forward. So we'll come up into Sphinx pose, or we'll do a variation of Sphinx, and then we'll throw in some stuff for the backside. So first thing we'll do is check alignment. Hands are going to pop to opposite elbows. That'll make sure that the elbows aren't too wide or too narrow. And then release the forearms so they're parallel to one another out in front of you. So all we'll do from here is we'll do like a little shoulder drop. Okay, so I like to call this flossing of the shoulders. So you can drop the chest down, right? You can feel how the chest drops down in between the shoulders. The shoulder blades kind of squish together on the back. And then if you lift the upper back, now we get space between the shoulder blades. Good. Now drop down and press up, kind of like we're doing a little shoulder push-up, right? And you can feel how it's almost like everything is flossing into the shoulder, right? Now, find a position where you're not dropped down and you're not lifted up. We're just about halfway, okay? We're going to press down firmly through forearms, so elbow all the way to fingertips. Now we'll add a little kick into the legs. So we're extending into the legs and we're going to firm them, right? So here's what we do with a pointed toe, actually with a flexed foot. You're going to flex the foot and you're going to squeeze the right heel into your butt. This is going to activate glute and hamstring on that right side. We're going to do a kick, then point the toe and extend the leg and lower it back down. And now we'll do the other side. Flex the foot. It's a double kick with the flexed foot, and then one kick with a pointed toe, and then release and extend all the way down. All right, let's do 4 more on each side. Okay, right leg first. Flex, flex, point, extend and lower. Left side, flex, flex, point, and lower. Right side, flex, flex, point, extend, flex, flex, point, extend. Good. Flex, flex, point, and down. One more each side. I know you're feeling this. The hamstrings are activating and all the way down. Beautiful. Now we'll do a little combination. Again, combination of a yoga and a Pilates move. We'll do a double leg kick combined with locust pose or Shalambhasana, which is a back bending pose. So let's come all the way down onto the floor as if we're going to do the cobra pose that we did a little while ago, all right, where the hands are on the floor. So they're anchoring, right? Forehead is down. Now, both feet at the same time, all right? Flex the feet, double kick with the flexed feet, then one with the pointed toe, and then extend the legs, keeping the thighs lifted. Lift your forehead as if we're coming into cobra, and at the same time, maybe even reach the hands back toward the toes, and then reset. Everything comes back down, forehead to the floor. Flex the feet, kick, kick, point, extend the legs, lift the chest, look forward, and then release all the way down. Let's do 2 more of those, okay? Just 4 altogether. So flex, flex, point, extend and reach, and then all the way down. 4 doesn't sound like enough. I think we should do 5 total. So this is the second to last one. Reach, and then lower it down. 1 more, flex, flex, point, and reach, and all the way down. All right, we're gonna have to push ourselves off the floor. So I like to curl my toes under here. Hands are next to the ribs. Press yourself up off of the floor and come onto all 4s. So depending on your situation, where you're at, if you need extra cushion under the knees, then you can grab that blanket if you have one and put it under the knees. But let's come onto all 4s. So hands will be placed right underneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide. Look back at your knees. They're hips distance apart, right? So the knees are stacked right underneath the hips. And before we begin, let's do a little bit of shifting around, okay? So as you come onto hands and knees, you'll notice that if you shift your hips back, we get the shoulders come back behind the wrists, and we get a lot of pressure, a lot of weight down here at the heel of the hand, at the wrist. But if you're to shift your hands more forward or shift your body more forward, you'll feel how that weight goes out to the fingertips. And now the fingertips themselves are loaded here. So shift around a little bit, and you see how that changes. And you can also go side to side. Find a place where you're right in the center. So we feel all that support all the way out into the fingertips. So heel of the hands might feel a little bit lighter. Right? Now, we're going to do some cat and cows. We're going to inhale, tilt the tailbone up, the belly drops, and open the chest forward, draw it forward, lengthen. And then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the low belly and round, maybe even looking back to the belly or the thighs. Inhale, reverse. Exhale. Good. And reverse. Inhale, exhale. Now let's inhale to a neutral spine. Curl your toes under. A little core challenge for you now. So curl your toes under, make sure that weight's shifted forward. So we're all the way out weighted to the fingertips. It'll take pressure off the heel of your hand, of your wrist. Now press down firmly through the big toes, through the toes that are curled under, and your knees get light. Maybe your knees can float up right over the space, the shadow of themselves. Good. Low belly is still lifting. And then exhale, release them down. Uncurl your toes. If it's okay for you, sit back on your feet. Give the wrists a little break. Do a little emptying, make a soft fist and just roll them around. We'll do a couple more things on hands and knees. So be really mindful of making sure that we've got good form for the hands. All right, let's come back to hands and knees again. Back to all 4s. Now this time, take your right leg and stretch it back behind you and stamp the toes on the ground. Now, you might have noticed that when you did that, you might have shifted back a little bit. So if you need to, shift back forward. Press down really firmly through the right toes, and then notice how maybe the left knee lifts. Maybe it stays on the ground and just gets lighter. Maybe the foot comes off with it, but breathe here. 1, 2, and 3, and lower it all the way down. Right knee comes back in, and the left leg is going to extend. All right. Press the toes down firmly, lift maybe the right knee, keep the low belly, drawing back to the spine, and exhale, release it all the way back down. Wonderful job, you guys. Back to hands and knees. And then sit back on the feet. Let's get off those wrists, but empty them out, maybe open and close a couple times, do a few wrist rolls. So now my favorite part, one of my favorite sequences in Pilates is side lying series. So really great for outer hip and thigh. So we've already done quite a bit for the core, not only lying on our backs, but lying on our stomachs and on hands and knees. So we'll get into the legs a little bit here now. Start by laying on your right side. And extend your arm all the way out so we can rest the head in the upper arm. And then look back at your body. So we want the whole body in one big long straight line, right? So I'm not bringing the knees forward. Everything is nice and long, okay? The left hand is out here in front of you just for a little bit of support. Now, as we move through the side lying series, the goal is to not rock around, right? So we got to come back to the core, to that low belly. Draw the navel, that space, back to the spine and up to the ribs. See if you can remember to keep that toned the whole while. All right. Now the bottom leg, your right one, has to firm into the ground as well to keep you steady. Now pick up your left foot and flex it. Right. So we're going to flex the foot and just pick it up so it's about hip height. Right. Now, all I'll ask you to do here is lift and lower the leg. It doesn't have to go up very high, right? You don't want to lift it up so high that you start to open the hip. Want to keep everything in a neutral position and then lower it back down just until it's hovering. So we're not going to let it rest. Lift it up and down and up and down. One more, just the leg up. And then it's going to hover right back to hip height. Now we'll just move the left arm. Take the left arm first, extend it out in front of you. We're just going to lift the left arm up and then lower it down. So maybe it touches the ground, maybe it hovers, right? Up and down. 2 more. Up and down. Last one, just the arm. And now you might have guessed it. We're going to do arm and leg together. Up, whoa, and down. Fun little balance challenge. Up and down. Good. 2 more. Lift and lower and lift and lower down. Beautiful. All right. Now hand back in front of you for a little bit of support. And we're still not letting that left leg lift. Or we're going to lift the left leg up. Now you're going to lift the right leg up to meet it. And then you're going to lower the right leg and then lower the left leg. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. All right, now we're going to go up, up, squeeze the legs together and lower them at the same time. It's up, up, squeeze and lower. Up, up, squeeze and lower. Good, you got it. Let's do 4 more. Squeeze and lower. 3, 2, last one. And all the way down. Keep those legs squeezing together. Now pick them up and bring them forward. So now they're at about a 25-degree angle from the body. All right. We're going to come into a little bit of a turned out position. So you can take the bottom toes, curl them under so that kneecap is kind of pointing down a bit. And if that doesn't work for whatever reason with your feet or your toes, then you can just stay here as we were with the
the outer edge of the foot to the floor. And then do the same with the upper leg, right? So the upper leg's now going the other direction. So it's almost like we're in a little Pilates or a ballet position, right? All right. So first thing we'll do, pick up the top leg, flex the foot, and we're going to do a double kick forward. Okay. Double kick forward, point the toe and squeeze it back. So here we're really squeezing the glute and the hamstring on that top leg. Flex the foot, double kick forward, point the toe and squeeze it back. Kick, kick, point and squeeze. Good. One more. Kick, point and squeeze. Good. Bring it all the way back to center. Point the toe now, and we'll do circles. Imagine taking a circle about the size of, oh, I don't know, a paper plate. So it doesn't have to be really big. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow it down. 8 the other direction. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just when you think we're about done here, take that turned out position again if you've unrotated, and we'll do passe. Trace the inseam of the bottom leg, and then extend the leg, kick it up, and then squeeze it down. Good. Extend, up, and lower. Good. 4 more. Up and down. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to, with a pointed toe, kick it straight up, flex the foot, and then drag it down as if you're dragging that heel through mud or peanut butter, whatever suits your fancy, right? We got 4 more. Up, squeeze it down. So we're squeezing that inner thigh. And 3, squeeze. 2, squeeze. Last one, guys. 1, and squeeze it down. Let that leg rest for a moment. And now bend both knees and slide them forward. So now if you're to look at yourself from above, it's kind of like we're sitting in a chair. Okay. Flex the feet. So we've got 90-degree bend at the ankles, at the knees, and at the hips. Now pick up the top leg, right? Again, so it's hovering just above. Now take your top hand to your hip. We're going to lift this leg up, but again, only lift it so far that you don't roll yourself backwards, right? So we don't want to unsteady the hips. So we're just going up and then down to hover. 7, down to hover. 6. Good. Nice and slow and easy. 5, 4, 3. I know it's really warming up out there, huh? 2, and 1. Now, as you lower the leg down, squeeze your heels together. So squeeze the heels together and the knee is lifted, right? So we'll do some little clam openers here. Now, lower the knee down and lift it up. Squeeze. Good. Down and squeeze. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now squeeze the knees together and lift the heel. So I call this a confused clam, right? So we've got the knees squeezing, the heel lifted. Now you're going to squeeze the heels together and lift the knee. So it's like this little mid-air flip. All right, knees, heels, knees, heels. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees squeezing. All right, so we're going to keep the knees squeezing, the foot flexed. So we're going to go from the confused clam to a karate kick, right? So knees squeezing. Now keep the foot flexed. Stretch the left leg along the length of your mat like you're doing a little karate kick back there. And then come back to the knees squeezing. Nope, I said that backwards. Heels squeezing. So we're in the clam to the karate kick, not the confused clam. So sorry about that, guys. Heel squeeze, open the clam. All right, now karate kick. And then heel squeezing, karate kick, heels, karate kick. Good. 4, kick, 3, kick, 2, and 1. Kick and bring it all the way in and let it rest. Let's stretch that out a little. Take your right arm and stretch it straight out in front of you. Take your left arm on top of the right. Inhale, open. Left arm back behind you. And then bring it back in. Good, one more time. We're just gonna open like that. Open all the way over. It always feels better on the second round. Love that. All right, go ahead and you can just roll all the way over onto your back and then continue rolling and go to your other side. So we'll do that whole sequence on side 2. So you're lengthening out onto your left side, left arm all the way extended. So we rest the head and the hands. Body comes into a nice long straight line. Right hand out in front of you for a little bit of support, firming the whole left side of your body down, toning the abdominals the whole while. All right, start by lifting the right leg up, flex the foot. All right, as you flex the foot, all we do first is 4 lift and lowers. Up and down, and 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to keep it hovering. Now we take the arm, right arm out in front of you. Isn't it always kind of funny how challenging it is to balance lying on our side? You think it'd be so easy, right? 4 arm lifts up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that low belly toning. All right, now we've got arm and leg at the same time. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Right hand down to support, not letting that right leg though lower down. It needs to hover and continue to work. Now, right leg lifts, left leg lifts, left leg down, right leg down. So it's up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one like this. And now we lift the right leg, lift the left leg, squeeze them together and lower. Up, up, squeeze and lower. So as you're squeezing them together, I want you to feel the weight of the top leg on that bottom leg, making it work. Yeah. We've got 3 more here. And down. 2. And 1. Beautiful. The legs squeeze together and bring them forward at about that 25 degrees. All right, remember, you can prop up into Pilates stance, the bottom leg, or keep it just firmly flexed. Pick up the top leg, hip height, flex the foot. The first thing we do is the double kick forward. We're going to do this 4 times. So it's kick, kick, point the toe and squeeze the glute to go back behind you. Good. Flex and double kick, point and squeeze. 2 more. Squeeze. Last one. And squeeze it back. Good. Bringing it all the way back around to the front. Point the toe. We've got those 8 circles. So it doesn't need to be really big. And keep reaching through the toes like you're lengthening that leg. 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we come to the turned out position. Toe is still pointed. Passe first. So trace the inseam of the bottom leg, extend it up, and then squeeze to lower. In, up, and squeeze. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now, point the toe, kick it up, flex the foot and squeeze like you're dragging it through something. Point up, flex, down. Good. 4 more. Up, flex and release. Squeeze the inner thighs together to bring it down. And good. 2 more. Up and squeeze.
Last one like this. And down, let it rest, but just for a moment, bend the knees and bring everything forwards. Now we've got all those 90-degree bends, right? Ankles, knees, and hips. All right, pick up the top leg, flex the foot. So nothing changes, just lift and lower the thigh. Up, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we've got that little clam opener. Heels down, knees lift. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees squeeze, heel lifts. Confused clam here. We got that mid-air flip. We're going to do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I know you're feeling it too, because I am too, and 1. All right, we've got heels squeezing. So we've got the clam to the karate kick. So squeeze here and then kick. 8. There's 7, 6, 5, 4. Almost done, guys. 3, 2, and 1. Let it rest and pat it out. All right, let's do that stretch. So left arm stretches out in front of you, right arm stacks on top of it, and inhale, open. Feels so great. Now let's close it back up, right arm stacks back on top of the left, and one more time, all the way open. And just keep rolling onto your back. Once you get onto your back, locate your belt. Let's use that. We'll just use it to stretch out the legs a little bit, the legs and the hips after all of that work we just did. So whatever you're using to stretch with, take the middle of it and just loop it around the bottom of your right leg and take your right leg up to the ceiling. And so we're going to flex the foot, draw the toes towards you. So you're pushing up into the heel. The foot is pushing up into the belt, and we're just pulling on the belt enough just to continue to stay grounded through the right hip. Now, left leg, you can keep the heel on the floor with the knee pointing up, or if it's okay for your low back, extend the leg and flex the foot. And then remember all the way back to that thing we did at the very beginning of lifting the leg without actually lifting it. Yeah, do that here. So the left leg is flexed and we're firming the leg as if we're lifting it. So we're toning the abdominals while we're stretching the legs. I know, double duty. All right, let's take both ends of the belt into the right hand. Try not to let the leg drop away from you, but instead drop the right leg out to the right. I kind of get stuck by the wall, so I'm not going very far, but take your leg out as far as you like to, but make sure that we're not rolling and tipping all the way over onto your side. So keep firming into the left leg to stay grounded, no matter how far you drop it over. Take one more breath there. Good. Let's take the right leg, bring it all the way back up to the center. Now switch your hands. Take your left hand to the belt. Right hand is out to the side as a little bit of counterbalance. And then start to drop the right leg across the midline of the body. So you can go a little bit or a lot. So we're going to get all of that IT band, that connective tissue, the outer edge of the leg. You might feel it a lot behind the knee or maybe an outer hip. And one more breath. Inhale, bring it all the way back up to center. Release the belt. And as you take the belt off, we'll do reclined pigeon, right ankle over the left knee, either with the left foot on the floor or interlace the hands behind the left thigh. So any knee discomfort, you keep this right foot flexed the whole while, right? Keep muscle energy into the knee. And release the foot down, uncross the ankle from the knee. Hopefully that side feels a little bit better. Let's stretch out the left side now. Belt goes looped around the bottom of the left leg. Left leg up, toes towards you, push up into the heel, push up into the belt. And then again, you decide what happens with the right leg, whether you keep the foot on the floor and the knee bent or you extend it out. If it's extended, right, we're going to do that lift, but don't lift kind of idea. Help you stay grounded. Let's take both ends of the belt into the left hand. Right hand, I always like to take and either put it on the right hip or the right thigh, and then drop the leg over whatever degree you like, but stay grounded through the right side. Keep toning the abdominals. Again, not 100%, just maybe 50%. Inhale the leg all the way back up. Switch hands on the belt. Left hand will come to the floor, and then you'll drop the leg across the body to whatever degree you like, a little or a lot. We'll inhale the leg all the way up. As you release the belt from the foot, you can now set it off to the side. We're done with it. Left ankle over the right knee, reaching into stretching the outer hip. Just a couple breaths here. Let's release the leg down, uncross. Let's take the legs, extend them long, take your arms and just stretch them overhead. That probably feels really good in the whole front side of the body. And release, then bring the arms by the sides. You can let the legs just flop off to the sides now. We'll take just a brief Shavasana before we sit. Yeah, just letting yourself settle back in. And tune in again, just like we did at the very beginning of practice. Tune into what you're sensing and feeling physically, emotionally, mentally. It's checking it out again, getting that overall sense of the feeling tone of being you in this moment. Let your awareness rest back on your breath. Just tuning back into it. If you set an intention today, just remind yourself what that is. Let's take a deeper breath in now. And exhale completely. Another deep breath in. And exhale. A little movement now, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe shaking the legs or the arms, perhaps hugging the knees in. And then roll to one side or the other. Press yourself up to sit. Sitting up tall. And just for a moment now, allow your eyes to softly close. And we'll bring our hands to Anjali Mudra, palm against palm in front of the heart. And as you bow chin to your chest, just taking a moment for gratitude to yourself for taking this time for you today. And thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.